Can you retire right now and be financially secure for the next 25 years? Not, do you want to retire? Can you actually afford to? Most people don't really know the answer to that question. They've got a vague sense of their savings, a rough idea of their expenses, and they're just hoping it'll work out. But hope isn't a retirement plan. Today, we're going to get you a real answer. 10 questions, 15 minutes, and at the end, you'll know exactly where you stand and what you need to do about it. This is too important to guess about. So grab something to write with and let's figure this out together. See, here's what I've noticed over the years. Most people approaching retirement have done some planning, but they haven't stress tested it. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 63, worked for the same company for 32 years. She had $520,000 in her 401k. Figured Social Security would kick in at $2,200 a month and thought she was ready. Then she actually retired. Within 3 months, she realized her budget didn't include things like replacing her car, helping her grandson with college, or the fact that her property taxes went up 18% that year. Her healthcare costs alone, before Medicare even started, were running $1,300 a month instead of the $500 she'd estimated. 6 months in, she was burning through savings twice as fast as planned. So this quiz, it's not about scaring you. It's about giving you a clear picture before you make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. Now here's how this works. I'll ask you 10 questions. Each question has 4 options, and each option is worth different points. You'll need to track your points. Grab a pen and paper if you haven't already. At the end, we'll add them up and see what your score reveals. This isn't about perfect scores, it's about honest assessment. Nobody's judging you here. This is just for you. Important disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. It's designed to help you think through key retirement readiness considerations, but it's not personalized financial advice. Everyone's situation is different. If you need specific guidance, please consult with a qualified financial advisor or certified financial planner. Think of this as a starting point, a way to identify areas where you're strong and areas that might need attention. Ready? Let's dive in. All right, question 1. Let's start with the foundation. How much have you actually saved for retirement? Now I want you to add up everything. Your 401k, IRA, any brokerage accounts you've earmarked for retirement. Don't count your house unless you're planning to sell it and downsize. Don't count money you're planning to give to your kids or use for emergencies. Just pure retirement savings. According to the latest data from Fidelity, people in their 60s have an average 401k balance of around $249,000. But here's the thing. That's often not enough if it's your only source of retirement income besides Social Security. So what's your total retirement savings right now? A, under $200,000. B, $200,000 to $400,000. C, $400,000 to $700,000. D, over $700,000. Take a moment. Be honest with yourself. All right, here's how the points break down. A, under $200,000, 3 points. B, $200,000 to $400,000, 5 points. C, $400,000 to $700,000, 8 points. D, over $700,000, 10 points. Look, there's no magic number that works for everyone. But as a rough guideline, financial planners often suggest having 8 to 10 times your annual salary saved by the time you're ready to retire. If you're at 5 points or below, you'll likely need to either save more aggressively, work a few years longer, or adjust your retirement spending plans. Moving on to question 2. This is about guaranteed income. Money that comes in every month whether the stock market's up or down. What guaranteed monthly income will you have in retirement? Think about Social Security or state pension, any traditional pensions from employers, rental income from properties you own, annuities you've purchased. Add all that up. For most people, Social Security is going to be the foundation. In 2025, the average Social Security benefit is about $1,920 a month. But yours might be higher or lower depending on your work history and when you claim. Here's your question. A. Less than $2,000 per month, guaranteed. B. $2,000 to $3,500 per month, guaranteed. C. $3,500 to $5,000 per month, guaranteed. D. More than $5,000 per month, guaranteed. Be realistic. Don't count income you're hoping for. Only count what's actually guaranteed. The scoring. A. Less than 2,000. 5 points. B. 2,000 to 3,500. 8 points. C. 3,500 to 5,000. 10 points. D. More than 5,000. 10 points. Guaranteed income is powerful because it covers your baseline expenses no matter what happens. The more you have, the less pressure there is on your savings to last. Question 3. Healthcare costs. This is the one that catches people off guard more than anything else. What's your actual plan for healthcare and retirement? Let me give you a real scenario. John retired at 63, had a decent nest egg, thought he was ready. He figured Medicare would kick in at 65, so he just needed 2 years of private insurance. He budgeted $500 a month. Reality, his COBRA coverage was $1,400 a month. And when Medicare did start at 65, he still had Part B premiums, supplemental insurance, prescription costs, dental, vision. Another $550 a month. According to Fidelity's 2025 estimate, a 65-year-old couple will need about $345,000 to cover healthcare costs throughout retirement. That's not covered by Medicare. That's out-of-pocket costs, even with Medicare. So think about your situation. A. You'll figure it out when the time comes. B. You're planning to rely on Medicare or national health coverage. C. You've got Medicare plus supplemental insurance planned and budgeted. D. You're fully covered with multiple backup options and long-term care insurance. Which one are you? All right, here's how the points break down. A. Figure it out later. 3 points. B. Relying on basic coverage. 5 points. C. Medicare plus supplemental. 8 points. D. Fully covered plus long-term care. 10 points. If you scored 5 or below here, don't wait. Healthcare costs in retirement are serious, and they only go up as you age. Start researching your options now. Question 4, and this one's uncomfortable for a lot of people. Debt. What debt will you carry into retirement? Here's the truth. Carrying debt into retirement is like trying to swim upstream. Every dollar going to debt payments is a dollar not supporting your lifestyle. I know someone named Robert. He retired at 65 with $380,000 saved. Not bad, right? Except he still had $190,000 on his mortgage, $18,000 in car loans, and $12,000 in credit card debt. Between all those payments, he was spending $2,400 a month just servicing debt. That's $2,400 a month for the next 15 years that wasn't buying groceries or paying for travel or anything else. Your situation. A. Significant debt. Mortgage over $150,000, car loans, credit cards. B. Moderate debt. Mortgage under $150,000 or a car payment. C. Small debt. Just a small mortgage or minor obligations. D. Completely debt-free. Where do you stand? Points. A. Significant debt. 3 points. B. Moderate debt. 5 points. C. Small debt. 8 points. D. Debt-free. 10 points. If you're at 5 points or lower, seriously consider delaying retirement by a year or two to knock out that debt. Your future self will thank you. All right, question 5. And I want you to be brutally honest here. Have you created a detailed, realistic monthly budget for retirement? Not a guess. Not a we'll spend less because we won't be commuting. A real budget, line by line. Groceries, utilities, insurance, property taxes, car maintenance, gifts, entertainment, the subscriptions you keep forgetting to cancel. Let me tell you about Linda. She thought she'd spend $3,500 a month in retirement. Seemed conservative to her. Then she actually sat down and wrote everything out. Property taxes, $380 a month. Homeowners insurance, $210. Health insurance before Medicare, $1,200. Car insurance, $180. Utilities, $250. Groceries, $600. Just those basics got her to $2,820 before she'd done anything fun or replaced anything that broke. Her real retirement budget, $5,200 a month, nearly 50% higher than her guess. So, A, you haven't created a detailed budget yet. B, you've got a rough estimate. C, you've created a detailed budget and tracked expenses for comparison. D, you've created a detailed budget, tracked expenses, and built in 15 to 20% cushion. Which describes you? The points. A, no budget. 3 points. B, rough estimate. 5 points. C, detailed budget with tracking. 10 points. D, detailed budget with cushion. 8 points. If you scored 3 here, this is your homework. Before you retire, track every dollar you spend for 3 months. You'll be shocked what you learn. Question 6. If you're married or in a partnership, this one's critical. Are you and your spouse or partner on the same page about retirement? I've seen marriages of 30, 40 years hit serious rough patches over this. One person's ready to retire tomorrow, travel the world, spend freely. The other person's terrified about running out of money and wants to keep working. Here's what happened with David and Carol. David wanted to retire at 62. Carol wanted to work until 67. David wanted to spend $70,000 a year on travel. Carol wanted to stick to $45,000 total spending. They never had a real conversation about it until David actually retired. And then it nearly tore them apart. Your situation. A, you haven't discussed retirement plans in detail with your partner. B, you've discussed it but have different views you haven't resolved. C, you're generally aligned on timing and spending. D, you've created a joint retirement plan together with complete agreement. Where are you? Points. A, haven't discussed. 3 points. B, discussed but not aligned. 5 points. C, generally aligned. 10 points. D, joint plan with agreement. 10 points. If you're at 5 or below, have that conversation this week. Seriously. This week. Retirement decisions affect both of you, and you need to be rowing in the same direction. Question 7. Let's talk about your safety net. How much do you have in accessible emergency funds? Money you can get to quickly without penalties. This isn't your 401k or IRA. This is a savings account, money market account, checking account, cash you can touch if the roof leaks, the car dies, or your furnace breaks in January. Here's why this matters. Janet retired with $450,000 in her IRA. Great, right? Then 3 months later, her air conditioning system died, $8,500 to replace. She had to pull money from her IRA, pay income tax on the withdrawal, and it bumped her into a higher tax bracket that year. What should have been an $8,500 problem became a $12,000 problem. Your accessible emergency reserves: A. Less than $10,000. B. $10,000 to $25,000. C. $25,000 to $50,000. D. More than $50,000. What have you got? Scoring: A. Less than 10,000, 5 points. B. 10,000 to 25,000, 8 points. C. 25,000 to 50,000, 10 points. D. More than 50,000, 10 points. Most experts suggest having at least 1 to 2 years of expenses in accessible funds when you retire. It protects you from having to sell investments at the wrong time. Question 8, and this is a big one. Social Security. When do you plan to start taking Social Security benefits? This decision can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, maybe over 100,000, over your lifetime. Here are the basics. You can start as early as 62, but you'll take a permanent reduction. Your full retirement age is probably 67 if you were born in 1960 or later, and if you wait until 70, you get delayed retirement credits. Your benefit goes up about 8% per year you wait. Let me show you real numbers. Say your full benefit at 67 is $2,000 a month. Take it at 62. You get $1,400 a month. That's 30% less for life. Wait until 70. You get $2,480 a month. That's 24% more for life. Over 20 years, waiting from 62 to 70 means about $260,000 more in total benefits. Your plan: A. You'll take it as soon as possible, age 62. B. You'll take it before your full retirement age. C. You'll wait until full retirement age. D. You'll delay until age 70 if financially possible. What's your strategy? Points: A. Age 62, 5 points. B. Before full retirement age, 8 points. C. Full retirement age, 10 points. D. Age 70, 10 points. And look, there are legitimate reasons to claim early. Health issues, family longevity, urgent financial need. But if you're claiming at 62 just because you're tired of working, think hard about that decision. Question 9. How your money's invested. What's your investment strategy for retirement? This is where a lot of people make a crucial mistake. They either stay too aggressive and get hammered when the market drops, or they go too conservative and don't keep up with inflation. I knew a man named Frank. At 66, he retired with $520,000 in his 401k. He was so worried about market crashes that he moved everything into cash and bonds paying 2%. Felt safe, but inflation was running 3 to 4%. Every year he was actually losing purchasing power. By age 76, his real spending power had dropped 25%. On the flip side, there was Patricia. She kept 90% in stocks at age 68. When the market dropped 20% in 2022, she panicked and sold everything, locked in her losses. Your strategy: A. You haven't thought about adjusting your investments for retirement. B. You're planning to be very conservative, mostly bonds or cash. C. You're planning to be very aggressive, mostly stocks. D. You have a balanced, age-appropriate strategy mix of stocks and bonds. Where are you? Points: A. Haven't thought about it, 3 points. B. Very conservative, 8 points. C. Very aggressive, 5 points. D. Balanced strategy, 10 points. Most financial advisors suggest something like the rule of 110. Subtract your age from 110, and that's your stock percentage. So it's 65, maybe 45% stocks, 55% bonds. It's not perfect for everyone, but it's a starting point. Question 10, and this might be the most important one. It's not about money. What's your plan for purpose and meaning in retirement? See, retirement isn't just a financial transition. It's an identity shift. For 40 years, work gave you structure, purpose, social connections, a reason to get up in the morning, and then one day, that's gone. Let me tell you about Tom, successful executive, retired at 64 with more than enough money. Within 6 months, he was miserable. He didn't know what to do with himself. His wife was still working. His kids had their own lives. He started sleeping until 10 a.m., watching TV all afternoon, and he'd gained 20 pounds. He told me, "I've got all the money I need, but I feel completely lost." Contrast that with Helen. She retired at 66, but she'd spent the year before lining up volunteer work at the library, joining a hiking group, and planning to audit classes at the local college. She had a plan for her time, not just her money. Your emotional readiness. A, you haven't thought about how you'll spend your time. B, you have some ideas but no concrete plans. C, you have specific activities and interests lined up. You've already started building your retirement lifestyle while still working. Which one describes you? Points. A, haven't thought about. 3 points. B, some ideas. 8 points. C, specific plans. 10 points. D, already building it. 10 points. If you scored low here, start now. Find one new activity, one new interest, one new connection outside of work, because retirement without purpose is just unemployment with a better name for it. All right, moment of truth. Add up all your points from the 10 questions. Go ahead, I'll wait. Got your total. Good. Now, before I tell you what the ranges mean, I want you to think about something. Look at the questions where you scored lowest. Those are your weak spots. Those are the areas that need attention before you retire. Or if you've already retired, the areas you need to address now. Make a mental note or write them down. Okay, let's see what your score means. If you scored 75 to 100 points, you're in excellent shape. Honestly, you're better prepared than most people I've talked to. You've done the homework. Financially, practically, emotionally, you've thought this through. You can retire with confidence. That doesn't mean everything will be perfect. Life happens. Markets fluctuate, expenses surprise you, but you've given yourself the best possible foundation. My advice, keep reviewing your plan once a year. Stay flexible, adjust as needed, and most importantly, enjoy this next chapter. You've earned it. If you scored 55 to 74 points, you're close, but not quite there yet. You've got some of the pieces in place, but there are gaps that need attention. The good news, these gaps are fixable. Maybe it's your healthcare planning. Maybe it's having that conversation with your spouse. Maybe it's building up your emergency fund. Whatever your weak spots are, focus on those over the next 12 to 18 months. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be better prepared than you are right now. Consider working with a financial advisor to plug those holes. And be realistic about your timeline. You might be looking at 1 or 2 more years of work to really be ready. If you scored 35 to 54 points, you've got work to do. I'm not saying this to discourage you. I'm saying it because the truth is more valuable than false reassurance. You're not ready to retire yet, not comfortably anyway. If you retired tomorrow, it'd be tight, real tight. And tight gets uncomfortable real fast when unexpected expenses hit. But here's the thing. This score isn't permanent. You can improve it. Focus on your biggest gaps first. If it's savings, can you work 2 or 3 more years and save aggressively? If it's debt, can you develop a plan to knock it out? If it's healthcare, can you research your options and get a realistic budget together? You're probably looking at 2 to 3 years of focused effort to get to a better place. But that effort now could mean the difference between a stressed retirement and a confident one. If you scored 30 to 34 points, you need more time. That's just the reality. The pieces aren't in place yet. But don't panic. This isn't a failure. It's information. And information is power. You know now what you didn't know before. The questions you scored lowest on, those are your roadmap. Those tell you exactly where to focus. Start there. Build a plan. You're likely looking at 3 to 5 years of preparation. Maybe continuing to work. Maybe working part-time. Maybe making some significant lifestyle adjustments. But 5 years of focused preparation now could give you 20 or 30 years of secure retirement later. That's a trade worth making. So there you have it. 10 questions that reveal where you really stand. Now here's what I want you to remember. First, wherever you scored, at least you know now. Most people never even ask themselves these questions until it's too late. You're ahead of the game just by being here, by taking this seriously. Second, a low score isn't a failure, it's information. It tells you what needs attention, and information is power. It lets you make better decisions. Third, retirement isn't one size fits all. Your perfect retirement might look completely different from your neighbors or your friends, and that's okay. What matters is that it works for you. So here's what I'd suggest you do after watching this. First, look at those weak spots. Pick one, just one, and make a plan to address it in the next 30 days. Not all of them, just one. Build momentum. Second, if you're married or partnered, have that conversation this week. Get on the same page. Show them this video if it helps start the discussion. Third, consider talking to a certified financial planner. A lot of them offer free initial consultations. Even one conversation could give you clarity and help you build a real plan. I'd genuinely love to hear from you. What did you score? And more importantly, what was your biggest surprise from this quiz? Was there a question that really made you think? Drop a comment below. And if you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I've got more videos coming on Social Security strategies, healthcare planning and retirement, and how to make your savings last. But for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. And remember, the best time to plan for retirement was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. I'll see you in the next one.